Hello everyone and welcome back to round 2 of the F124 mod career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live yesterday from Bahrain, I would highly recommend going back and checking out. It was a very, very interesting race from the Sakir circuit. But yeah, today we head to Saudi Arabia and the Jeddah Corniche, of course. This is a very, very high-speed track. Very little room for errors, so survival is going to be key first and foremost in our cockpit cam. But where will we qualify first of all? Get yourself subscribed if you're new around here, and let's do this thing. Well, I feel like we learnt a lot then last time out in Bahrain, so as we head into Saudi Arabia this weekend, hopefully we can try and have a bit of a better qualifying performance. But yeah, this place is always pretty scary to try and get a lap nailed. Never mind in cockpit cam, this is far more like what the drivers see IRL. And I think it gives people a newfound appreciation for just how scary this track is in the grand scheme of things. There, plenty of curb as we make our way through turn 3. Oh, I want to try and avoid the curb on the outside there. That one, I don't know whether it'll be back in the game for F124 or not. Part of me hopes it's not, part of me hopes it is, to be honest. Because, you know, I do quite like how unforgiving it is all at the same time there, but strongly define the limits of the car then on this one-shot qualifying run. As you can see, Verstappen, after a dominant victory last time out, just seems to be pulling away at the front of the field. We're not a million miles away behind him, but we're certainly just lacking out-and-out pace early on this season as we tip our way. Oh, nudge the wall on the inside there. That's not ideal. Yeah, making our way though into the final sector. It looks like we're up on where we ended up last weekend. It was P19 in Bahrain. At the moment we could be on for about P15, which is still hardly any good for a McLaren car, but he's going to be what we're going to end up with here. It's actually going to be about P17, I think, in the end. Looks like we've got good top-end speed though. P16 on the grid here in Jeddah. That is not fantastic. Well, there we go then. Max Verstappen takes pole position once more, a 10th clear of Sergio Perez. Charles Leclerc and George Russell setting identical times in P3 and P4. But yeah, 16th place for us then, not ideal. We end up behind our old teammate Daniel Ricciardo, but points are available on Sunday. We had a good recovery drive last weekend. We've just got to try and sort out our one-lap pace.
Good morning, good afternoon, or for us, good evening, as we're under the night lights of Jeddah. The floodlights are on and so is the pressure here at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah street circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Russell, Sainz, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Oscar Piastri, Bottas, Ocon, Zhou, Stroll, Albon, Ricciardo, Norris, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Magnussen and Logan Sargent. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today.
Right, well here we are then, trackside for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix then. In terms of strategy, we're actually going to stay normal this weekend. I fancy having that extra bit of grip early on here for the 18 laps around the Jeddah Corniche. But yeah, really, really looking forward to this one. We've got to desperately try and keep it clean and tidy down in towards turn 1. And looks like the Alpha Taurus, or the V-Carbs, sorry, have gone on mediums. This is 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go then. So immediately we're going to get a better start than Daniel Ricciardo. Alex Albon trying to make it 3 wide with Stroll and Ocon next to him there through the first couple of turns. Oh, Danny Rick, my old sparring partner there. No, it's Kevin Magnussen, sorry, that's gone back around our outside. So he's done very, very well there. We'll get back down the inside of him though, in towards the next corner. So yeah, the medium starters here Not able to make up any ground. But yeah, I'm just hoping, of course, we can build up some pace, build up some confidence in the car. I think ultimately, unless we go to a track that really, really suits us, Red Bull are probably going to be difficult to beat in this series. So for us, yeah, really, it's more about just trying to, I think, probably finish best of the rest by the end of the season is probably a good little goal as well there. But making our way out then onto the back straight on lap 1. We haven't gained, we haven't lost anything in the end, which is nowhere near as good as we managed in Bahrain. But this track is even more dependent on how you manage the battery and, of course, making sure that you keep it out of the walls, which we've done a lot better of a job of there than we did in qualifying. As you can just see, cars are already duking out in front. I believe that's one of the Kit Saubers and an Alpine. So that must be Pierre Gasly then, yet side by side through the final corner. As Max Verstappen, rather unsurprisingly, will still be leading the way then at the end of lap 1. We'll switch to the inside of Lance Stroll. Can we make a look for a move down at turn 1? Pretty even on the brakes.
Let's use that overtake button a bit more.
Everyone just concentrating up there. Gasly, you can see, getting a little bit caught out and drops the place to Oscar Piastri. So Alex Albon on the inside, and how on earth have we managed that? I had no intention of going to the outside of Alex Albon there. He just broke way earlier than I was expecting. And we have gone clean past him, as once again, it looks like Piastri, rather than battling it out with the front runners, kind of gets caught out with the midfielders early on in this race. And we are now starting to make a little bit of progress. Well, that was scary. Lance Stroll then. I thought I'd just like giving him enough room. But just as the wall comes towards you, apparently not there. And, well, we almost ended up already being out of this Grand Prix. To the outside of Sir Lance again. We made one move down the inside last time round. This time round, we'll go all the way around the outside. We'll try and squeeze him out on the exit. And we hang on to our position. DRS has now been enabled. So we need to try and get closer to Zhou. And not make mistakes like that. Oh, how many times am I going to go side by side with Stroll in towards turn 1? Clean around the outside once again goes the Aston. And this time around, I got nothing I can do about him there. He was very, very confident on the brakes. Maybe he can drag me a little bit closer to Bottas now, as those kit cars really are duking it out. Oh, here we go. Stroll to the outside of Valtteri Bottas then. So we make our way down the back straight. Not really a straight, but you know what I mean. As they're going to go side by side in towards the next corner. Somehow Stroll doesn't hit the inside wall. And they're still side by side as they make their way off of the turn. Somehow I've managed to lose the DRS in all of that, which I'm not sure how we managed. But still, yeah, Stroll being forced to the outside. Nice to see Valtteri getting his elbows out for a change. Will we be able to get a good run off of the final corner? We're not doing particularly well with our battery management at the moment. But we should get a nice slipstreamy run on the pair of them. Late on the brakes around the outside of not only one, maybe both of them. So Stroll there just about has to give me the room on the exit. And we are through. And we are back up into P12. Really are struggling with progress today. But I think ultimately McLaren doesn't seem to have the out-and-out pace. But I think we're going to have to continue to work with Lance Stroll then here, as he's going to sail back around my outside in towards the final corner. We'll have the DRS though, and we'll keep hold of the place. So yeah, that way we get the nice DRS boost. No, I don't, apparently. Has Stroll still got the DRS there, or did just neither of us get it? There seems to be a weird rule in this game that if you're too close in a DRS zone in terms of timings, it just gives it to neither of you, which is very, very frustrating, because it now means we're costing both of us time against this gaggle of cars in front, still being headed by Oscar Piastri. But yeah, he, as well as Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin, have really fallen away behind the Mercs and the Ferraris today. I think ultimately they've just struggled a bit more for pace as, well, there we go, actually Fernando seems to have caught back up with that entire group. It's so difficult when you haven't got the DRS to try and get within the range of other cars here, but looks like Esteban Ocon and myself are going to be two of the first to blink, so we want to try and get the undercut on some of those other drivers in front. Nice, clean and tidy on the pit entry there, as Charles Leclerc, as well a handful of others, have also peeled in. Hopefully, I mean, as long as we can stay close to Ocon on the exit, that's going to be the big thing here. Come on, go! No!
Great job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one.
Alex Albon, he wants beef after the Grand Prix last weekend. As well, we got yellows out. Maybe someone with some issues. Looks to be an Alfa Romeo. Is that Valtteri Bottas breaking down then in this GP? Stake haven't even managed to give him a slow stop yet. And yep, Bottas is out of the Grand Prix. Luckily for us though, no safety car. See though, yeah, we were going to be about a second away from Esteban Ocon because of that hold up behind Alex Albon. It's up 3 seconds, so that's going to be really, really difficult to try and get back, and has meant that any hope of an undercut on some of the others has been eliminated. Please don't now hit a wall. A couple more people into the pit lane then. Where are we going to re-emerge relative to Pierre Gasly here? I think we might just be inside the range of him, especially he's going to have cold tyres. 1.6 seconds behind Pierre, so not quite there. Oh no, Gasly's got inside the range of Ocon as well, so unless they start fighting, this is going to mean any hopes of taking time out of the Frenchman is going to be made even more difficult here. I feel like we get so close to the DRS range of so many people today, and they just cannot quite make it happen, as there's still a few AI at the front being held up. We are temporarily, actually we might be around with Oscar. So we've actually done alright in that regard now, inside the range, hopefully, of our teammate, who for whatever reason has gone on to hards. And we've got the jump on Zhou Guanyu, so into unlucky P13 we go. But can we now actually get some DRS? Oh, now we've got the DRS though on our teammate Oscar Piastri. We need to work together towards the end of this GP, so we'll fly around his outside. But are we going to see Alpine trying to do the same thing here late on in the day? Yeah, Gasly and Ocon seemingly going to try and work together as well, but we know both teams want to score some points here. Looks like most of us will, but who will be the unfortunate one who misses out, or will even, like the likes of Zhou Guanyu, get back in that fight as well? Piastri, though, if he gets a DRS run on me, we've got to try and let him use it, because we really, really can and should be quicker than those Alpines. But that goes to showcase the lack of pace this car has had here today. We are struggling to keep up with the French. Here comes Oscar to the outside again. Can he slingshot himself into that zone? I don't think quite. He was about a 10th out still. But he should be quick, but he is on those harder tyres, so unless we can get another run back on him, starting just to worry a little bit about the DRS here late on in the day. Piastri will move off the racing line for me, so we will make it back through. I think he wanted to try and keep the nose there down into turn 1, but we can't afford to let that happen. But we've both cost each other a little bit of time because of it. Come on. Oh, here we go. Gasly, Ocon.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 1.8 seconds.
Seems like Piastri has really dropped away towards the end of this one, but there we go. French Civil War has begun with 4 laps to go here on the Jeddah Corniche. Are we going to see them just slow each other up even more? We are inside the range. We won't be for long with lines like that. Oh, here we go. Ocon again to the outside of Pierre. Just see, yeah, they keep going side by side through the corners, so it keeps allowing us to get closer and closer, nudging the wall through that final turn. But now we are finally inside the DRS range there, as Zhou Guanyu will inherit P11. What on earth is this? Gasly and Ocon, there is no love lost between these two. So we'll try and go around the outside of Esteban through turn 1. And we'll make the move work there. Gasly going to try and run away. But maybe we've just broke up their fight temporarily. And then we've now got the DRS off of Pierre Gasly here. Can we get Ocon out of the range? Maybe stop their fight towards the end of the day then. Not quite close enough to really commit to a move. But surely out of the final corner with just a handful of laps to go now, we can move up into P8 here. That's all we're going to be able to do today, unless we get some real craziness between some of the cars in front. Clear around the outside though will go of Pierre Gasly, and it's taken far longer than I ever wanted to. We have finally moved into that position. 7 seconds to Alonso in front. They're going to need to go side by side everywhere if I want a chance. Well, starting the final lap then of this Grand Prix, I tell you what, have we just had a couple more here? Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton throwing it back like it's 2007. The battle they're having late on in the day. We've already taken nearly 4 seconds out of them. And that's been over the space of 2 laps here. So yeah, we had a couple more. Maybe could have had a little bit more out of this Grand Prix, but we managed to break free from those Alpines. So I think sensibly we've ended up probably exactly where we should have been in this Grand Prix. Ooh, a little bit wide there through the S's on the final lap. But yeah, I feel like had we nailed qualifying, had we been probably where we should have been, we might have been able to get in that fight with those cars in front. But ultimately, I think with the exception of Alonso, we probably haven't had the pace to be quicker than Mercedes, Ferrari, or of course Red Bull this weekend. Perez and Verstappen, that really have pushed each other hard all day long. I couldn't even tell you who is leading in that battle at the moment, but whoever it was might just be about to lose it as they make their way through the final corner then of the Grand Prix. Which Red Bull is it going to be? Verstappen with 2 in a row, or Checo with his 2nd in a row here in Jeddah? It is Sergio Perez who will take the win on the Jeddah Corniche this weekend, so ties it all up at the top of the table, I believe. Hamilton will just pit Leclerc to the post as well, and we're going to come through in the end for P8. Good solid points on the board.
It was a magnificent race and a drive right out of the top draw to take the win for Red Bull today. Tell me, Ant, how do they manage to achieve this win?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them is losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everybody at the team. Some amazing talent out on the track today. But Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Well, there was a lot of incredible driving out there today, but if I had to pick someone, it's got to be Sergio Perez. Fantastic driving.
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
We go then. Sergio Perez takes the win this time out in Jeddah ahead of Verstappen and Carlos Sainz, so it's like looking at a real F1 2024 podium there. Merckx in 4th and 5th ahead of Leclerc, Alonso, myself, and the 2 Alpine cars, and that means in terms of the championship, 44 to 44 at the top of the table there. You'd have to combine the 2 Spaniards' point totals to keep up with Red Bull early on in this campaign. We're still in 7th, though, ahead of Lewis Hamilton, despite a little bit of a dip in points this weekend. But yeah, Oscar Piastri, very, very unfortunate not to score a single one at the end of the day there. Red Bull now with double the points of Ferrari at the top of the table. I think our fight is likely with Aston Martin, maybe with Mercedes, if we can start stringing some big results together there. But still, only 6 teams have scored points. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula 1 heads to Albert Park, Australia, and to the land down under.